Oh, hi. What's up? It's your boy Anti-Juicer. You can call me Big Nuts. You can call me Small Nuts. You can call me whatever you want. Coming at you with an interesting video. You know, this is a decently small channel. We haven't been around for a long time. But I got a comment on one of my videos that I found to be pretty interesting. And I thought this was sort of applicable to a lot of things, as I've got a little bit of experience with this at least. And I'll tell you a little bit of a story. You know, I'm not great with advice. You know, when people give me advice, I usually say, no, fuck you. I'm just going to learn the hard way. You can ask anybody who's ever grown up around me. But let me just read this off to you. Hey, Trey, love the work. Any chance a video explaining how to balance military work / life / and a side hustle grind like day trading is in the future? I'd be happy to donate. Well, the third dimension perception, you know, no donations for this, because I actually think this is pretty applicable to more than just military work / life / a side hustle, whatever. You can really apply this to anything. So let me tell you a bit of a story. My personal sort of YouTube experience, whatever, didn't just birth out of nowhere. You know, when I started doing YouTube, I started with Trace Trades, which I'm still actively making videos on today, talking about the stock market. You know, I talk about specifically AMC stock, but we also go over macroeconomic events and different tickers, and we just teach people, and we teach people stocks. But when I started that channel, I was just beginning my military career, and this is where the third dimension perception brought this up. I was just beginning my military career. I remember I was back in St. Cloud, Minnesota, with my first assignment, which was to be a gold bar recruiter. Essentially, you just your job is to recruit high school students to come to the school in which the RTC program existed, which was St. John's University. And my job was to just recruit these students. So I would send out a lot of emails. I would go to the different high schools to pitch, hey, you should come to ROTC and you should join our program and this and that. And while I was doing that, I had just started up my first YouTube channel. And there was a lot of things that I've learned, and I can talk about sort of what I think makes a successful YouTube channel, but I don't think that's the point. I want to transform this question into, how do you take on a entrepreneurship sort of job? How do you pursue entrepreneurship while also being full-time? Because I think a lot of people sort of pitch this, you know, you should go quit your shit. You should drop out of college. You should sell your fucking cat and just full send it right into whatever you want to do and whatever you want to talk about and whatever your business dream is. But I really don't think that's the case. I think that's pretty irresponsible. And I think that, you know, maybe 1 out of a million people that'll work for, but it certainly wasn't me. So some things that I learned, and what I think is sort of applicable here is there are sacrifices that are made, and everyone always says you gotta sacrifice, you gotta want it, you gotta do this, you gotta that, but they don't really tell you what that actually means. It's not like you have to sacrifice everything you do in life to focus on this one thing. What I mean by that is when you apply yourself to one specific thing, you want to be the best at one specific thing. That typically means that you're neglecting other areas of your life. And before I got into entrepreneurship, YouTube, whatever, what it meant for me was running. So I wanted to be a really good runner. Back in college, back in high school, my dream was to make the Olympic trials in the marathon. Unfortunately, I never did it, but I got pretty good. You know, I ran down to my best race ever was 10 miles in 50 minutes and 45 seconds, something like that, 5:05 per mile for 10 miles. And what that meant and what it took was that I had to sacrifice flexibility. I had to sacrifice a healthy body fat percentage. I had to sacrifice generalized strength, and I had to sacrifice other things in life that I wanted to do, which meant working more often, making more money, perhaps more time into my schoolwork. There were other aspects of my life that somewhat got neglected because of what I wanted to do with running. And if you apply that same sort of thing to, you have a main job, let's just say that you are an accountant, right? You're an accountant right now, and you want to have a YouTube channel talking about cooking. You've got this fucking baller tater tot hot dish recipe that you think the whole world needs to know about, and you're putting every ounce of energy that you've got into getting this video viral. You want people to know who you are, what your recipe is, right? Well, what it takes is sacrifice in other areas of your life. For me, when I started my entrepreneurship sort of path, I did what I had to do for the Army, and that was what I did. You know, some people would expect you to go above and beyond, to work the extra hours, to make sure you're attending all the meetups and this and that. And to be frank with you, I sacrificed some of that. I gave some of that up. In terms of my own personal health, I don't eat much, because if I'm working 2 jobs, which I'm thankfully just about to wrap up, I'm about to get out of the military. What I would personally do is eat one meal a day. If I've got a choice between sort of getting that extra meal in and sacrificing that work time, I'm going to get the work in instead of eating that meal. That's not a healthy thing to do, but it's a sacrifice that I personally gave up. I sleep a little bit less, right? And if you're working a full-time job, you're trying to put time into an entrepreneurship thing, it's your extra time. You got to find the extra time in your day, and that's what I do personally, is sacrifice a little bit of sleep so that I can put whatever amount of time that I've got into really diving face first into whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish. So what this is all to say, right? You ask, how can you balance sort of a work life alongside an entrepreneurship sort of goal? And what it's going to take is not living some sort of quote unquote ordinary life. Now, that might sound kind of goofy to say. Maybe you can do it without, having to sacrifice some different things. Maybe you can do it by eating 3 meals a day and sleeping 8 hours a day and having a great social life and this and that. But that's not my experience. It's not. I mean, I live in my apartment, and when I'm not, sleeping, I'm usually working, whether it's for the Army or at the computer, doing some research, having a think tank session with the boys, recording videos, live streaming, whatever. I sacrifice that social aspect. Sometimes I don't eat as much as I should. Sometimes I don't sleep as much as I should. But that's okay with me because it makes me happy. And I think that's the sort of question that's on the table here for whatever it is. If you have a full-time job but you want to pick up the stock market, you want to learn how to day trade, is it something that'll actually make you happy? Is that something that you want to do? Are you willing to sacrifice other aspects of your life that are already probably well developed, such as a social life, such as maybe a hobby that you have, such as sleep, such as perhaps eating habits, so that you can really dive in head first into whatever it is that you want to do? I think that's really the question. Is it something you're passionate about to the point in which you're willing to sort of move your attention somewhere else in your life for the time being? I think that's really it. My experience is I was willing to give up certain aspects of my life, having a pretty low body fat percentage leading to a lower sex drive, meaning that I didn't sleep very well at night, so that I could be a good runner. I was willing to do that. I was willing to sacrifice being healthy for being fit. Now, I was willing to sacrifice sleep and eating and a social life because I genuinely enjoy YouTube. I genuinely enjoy the entrepreneurship of getting to connect with you guys and putting out content that people enjoy, that brings me happiness, and that's worth sort of moving attention to somewhere else where it previously used to be. And that's really what it comes down to, is that something that you are actually willing to dive head first into? Some people it's not for, some people don't really want to do that sort of thing. And if you don't, that's chill. It doesn't mean that, or maybe you just do it at a slower pace. That's also an option too. But I find that to be the best advice that I can give you, how to balance sort of having 2 jobs, 2 side hustles, a side hustle and a main hustle. It really just comes down to attention, man. What do you want the most? Do you want these relationships? Do you want this? Do you want that? Or do you want the entrepreneurship sort of life? That's really it. I wish you the best. I hope third dimension perception that you're able to cowabunga that shit, and hopefully that personal story helped you. So I guess that's really about what I got. You want to watch me on stream? I stream on Twitch Monday through Sunday almost every day, and if I'm not, you'll know because I'll post it in my Discord, and that's at twitch.tv/antijuicers. So that's what I got for this. Appreciate you all. All right, you guys take it easy. Peace later. Wada bing bong. Oh, hi. Oh, I didn't see you there. Well, since you're here, check out this video and also that video and maybe Twitch, which is down there, fucker. Have a good night.